Today, we have a captivating topic to delve into. The Battle of Gettysburg, a pivotal moment during the American Civil War. Contrary to what you might expect, we're going to explore a different perspective in this video. The possibility of a Confederate victory. So grab your virtual time machines as we journey back to a crucial turning point in American history. Before we dive into the what if, let's quickly recap the actual historical events. The Battle of Gettysburg took place from July 1st to 3rd, 1863, in the town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It was a massive clash between the Union Army, commanded by General George G. Meade, and the Confederate Army, led by General Robert E. Lee. The battle resulted in a Union victory and is often considered the turning point of the Civil War. Now let's imagine an alternative scenario, a Confederate victory at Gettysburg. How might this have played out? Keep in mind, this is a hypothetical exploration, not an attempt to rewrite history. In our alternate reality, the Confederate forces successfully capitalize on their strategic advantages. General Lee's brilliant maneuvering and tactical expertise grant his army an upper hand, leading to key victories in the initial days of battle. The Union forces find themselves on the defensive, struggling to counter Lee's movements. As the Confederate forces push forward after their victories at Gettysburg, they managed to force the Union Army to retreat from Washington, D.C. The Confederate forces' momentum leads to a dramatic change in the war's geographical dynamics. As the battle rages on, the Union forces face mounting casualties and logistical challenges. Faced with a dire situation, General Meade is forced to make the difficult decision to retreat. This retreat allows the Confederate forces to seize control of key supply lines and strengthen their position. With the Confederate victory at Gettysburg and the Union's retreat, European powers, especially France and Britain, see an opportunity to intervene. They recognize the Confederacy as a legitimate nation, hoping to secure trade agreements and resources from the southern states. The international community takes notice of the Confederate states' potential to secure their independence. European powers, including Britain and France, are more inclined to recognize the Confederacy as a legitimate nation, seeking potential economic and political ties. With international recognition, the Confederate States established a more assertive diplomatic presence on the world stage. They negotiate alliances and trade agreements with European powers, reshaping the global balance of power and leaving a lasting impact on international relations. The Confederate victory inspires a renewed sense of determination among Southern states. Buoyed by their success, they adjust their war strategy. Instead of relying on a defensive stance, they become more proactive, potentially pushing further into Northern territory. This shift in approach alters the course of subsequent battles and campaigns. With a newfound momentum, Confederate forces launch a daring invasion of Northern territory. Cities like Philadelphia and New York become contested battlegrounds, reshaping the geography of the conflict and creating a sense of vulnerability in the North. The Confederate victory at Gettysburg prompts both sides to consider negotiations. The Union, now faced with the reality of a strengthened Confederacy, seeks a diplomatic resolution to the conflict. This leads to negotiations aimed at finding a compromise that could avoid further bloodshed and solidify the Confederacy's status as an independent nation. The negotiations between the Union and the Confederacy result in the Treaty of Richmond. This treaty establishes a formal recognition of the Confederacy's independence, sets borders between the two nations, and addresses issues related to trade, alliances, and the future of slavery. If the Confederate victory at Gettysburg had been a reality, the long-term consequences would be profound. The shape of the United States would be drastically different. The question of slavery's future would still be at the forefront, as the Confederacy's success might have prolonged its existence. The global balance of power and international relationships could be forever altered. With a lasting Confederate nation, the institution of slavery persists for a longer period. This creates tensions with nations that have abolished slavery, leading to ongoing debates on human rights, trade, and diplomatic relations. In our alternate timeline, historians and scholars would debate the implications of a Confederate victory at Gettysburg. Questions would arise about the durability of the Confederacy, the potential for a two-nation North America, and the moral and ethical considerations of slavery's prolonged existence. This version of history would continue to shape discussions on race, politics, and diplomacy for generations to come. And there you have it, an exploration of what might have been if the Confederate forces had emerged victorious at the Battle of Gettysburg. While this is a mere thought experiment, it reminds us of the fragility of historical events and the far-reaching consequences of pivotal moments. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the realm of alternative history. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, remember to keep questioning, keep learning, and keep exploring the fascinating tapestry of our past.